Freedom fighters, it's another Manic Monday coming back at you with another Manic Monday rant. And, I kind of left off on our Friday weekly wrap up talking about the breaking news about John Bolton getting raided. But I was doing that video earlier in the morning and really just heard about it and really didn't know much about it. So I kind of just went on and talked about some other stuff and figured, we'd get more information and kind of see, what happened with that. And I still haven't got real comfort. We haven't heard yet, like, what the real deal was. Everyone assumes that it's, to related with having classified documents or something like that. But I saw AJ made a post on X and said, oh, I've got big news coming up. And he said, me, if it ain't big, I never say it's big if it ain't big. So he's like, stay tuned. The stuff's going down. The indictments are coming. They're all going down. We're winning. Kind of planting that hopium. And it's like, yeah, AJ, we've never heard that you've got the documents and, it's all going down and everything like that. So, pardon me if I hold my breath, but if this is just, the first stone to drop and there's many more to come, I mean, hopefully it's good. But like I said, man, I'm not holding my breath. And, John Bolton is one thing, but if anyone thinks, Hillary or Obama, Biden, Comey might actually get a little slap on the wrist, but Schiff, Schumer, um, you Holder, you name the largest ensemble of treasonous traitors to this nation, they're not getting anything. And I've talked about it many times before. Even if they do, they might get some little show trials going. And how long is that going to take? A year or a couple years. And then by the time they set these people up and they, sentence them, slap on a wrist, they maybe give them a couple years. And then Gavin Newsom takes hold and, gives them all pardons. So really at the end of the day, like, nothing's going to happen to them. They'll be told, like, yeah, we're going to have to put you behind bars for, show for a little bit. You'll be in a nice, comfy, place. And then, yeah, your pardon's coming down the road. And then you all get to walk free and, dance off into the sunset and live happy lives. So, nothing's going to happen with them. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I was talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene video, and I posted this video. Now, all my posts where I link videos are getting censored. And it's weird because they're YouTube videos, like, uploading onto the YouTube platform. Like, I'd understand if they were coming from other places, like, X or something like that, or Rumble or anywhere else. But no, these are YouTube videos, and I'm not getting any comments on them or any, even thumbs up, likes, or whatever. So I know they're not being seen, but this is a really good video you need to check out. It was with MTG on Russell Brand, and I forget exactly what it was called, but it was like, something worrying is, or something like that, or something will happen. I forget what it was, how it was phrased or worded, but the whole point of the video was that, whatchamacallit, that basically she said, like, oh, Trump's, base, or like Trump's supporters will turn on him. And they're starting to see that trend on X where everyone's like, what's going on? When are things happening? What are they really doing? I know there's been a lot of pressure on Cash and Dan, Pam Bondi, and the likes of, the whole administration. But she's like, yeah, this is going to leave an opening to a more, extreme candidate. And it's what I've said all along. Like, I don't think they realized, how fucking done we are with these people, and what we want to happen to them. And I'm not gonna go into lengths of exactly what I think should happen to them, but um, some people say prison is a light sentence. And like I said, I expect these people to get slaps on the wrist if they ever see time behind bars. But again, it will be conditioned, soft, yeah, we'll put you behind bars for a show, and knowing that within, a year or two, you're going to get your pardons and everything's going to be okay. I also posted another video from Tim Pool about a police debate. Go check that one out. It was with Michael Malice and his crew and like Alex Stein, and then they had like a cop that I know nothing about because I don't follow any cops on here. So I want to say I can't even remember the name actually, but it was a pretty good debate. I definitely recommend you checking that out. But yeah, as far as that MTG interview, like she started to realize, like, people are and they're gonna vote for a way more extreme candidate, which I said all along, man. Trump was to placate the Fox News boomer base that they needed, to get to win the election, and that's what they got. But they're losing, especially the younger generation, the millennials and Gen Z for sure, the upcoming Gen Alpha. They know that that generation is going to be totally radicalized to someone much more right wing than Trump, and the current leftists are going to lose their mind when they see what we have in store. Because um, yeah, I mean, all along, I was like, Trump is there to just, yeah, they know we weren't going to fall for another George Bush or another just open, blatantly, establishment, same old story Republican. So they had to put Trump in there as the pressure release valve, which I've also often questioned, of the controlled opposition, party to basically stall the movement. And I've talked about, how I think Nick is the future, Nick at America First and stuff. And I've been watching some more stuff of his, and he's been kind of going wild. I know, he's doing a lot of stuff right now, a lot of videos, and he's been saying stuff I don't necessarily agree with, and I've never really agreed with 100% of everything he said. And I don't agree with 100% of anything what someone says, but he's actually been supporting Newsom. And I'm not really sure if this is some kind of like troll, if they're playing around and joking, or if he's just hit the burn it all down phase. And he addressed that. He even said, like, oh, people are like, oh, Newsom's gonna, open the borders again and flood in, 10 more million more illegals. And he's like, yeah, I might actually do that or support that. And he's like, and I think he might have just hit the burn it all down phase. And, I somewhat understand it. Not, I've kind of been to that point where I've even said multiple times, like, in 2016, would we have been better off if Hillary, I believe, if Hillary won, the Civil War would have already happened. Now, whether or not we would have reclaimed this republic and taken back our country by now, or would we be just in utter ruins and, um, you know, just fire and collapsed buildings all around us and China closing in to become our new rulers? Like, who knows what we would be living in at that point, but yeah, man, like I said, they don't know, how sick and tired we are of these people and the lengths that, some would go to see this stuff happen. And we're just disgusted by the whole process and everything. Another thing, I saw, you probably already heard by now, is the Cracker Barrel rebrand. And I'm seeing the same old thing that I've talked about multiple times where conservative, creators are spouting that we're winning again, and they go woke and they go broke. But I've said again, man, that's such it's a hopium thing that we tell ourselves, and I've been pointing out to everyone that says that, look at Bud Light. Everyone thinks like, oh man, they're done, and no, Bud Light's still on the shelves. Look it up right now. Go to Google. Bud Light is still a profitable brand. They're still making money. Yeah, I mean, it's down. Stocks are down. Their percentages are down quite a bit. I want to say last I looked, it was like 15 or 20%, but they've been rebounding. And yeah, they've rebranded and put American flags back on the cans and had, pro-American looking ads and stuff like that. But they're just lying in wait, right? You haven't defeated the cause of someone to think to step out of bounds like that and make those kind of moves they were making. And that same thing with Cracker Barrel. They'll get through this. They know they'll be on the other end of this, and you'll be sitting there in these, you know, newly lit, um, modern looking hellscape buildings that they have planned for everything. Someone, I think it was Wall Street Apes, who I tend to watch a lot, posted something about, the McDonald's now. Like everything looks like a bank. Have you noticed that? Like the McDonald's is, and the like Taco Bell, and the Pizza Huts are another one. Like that's a historic building, and same with the McDonald's, like the Golden Arches and the playgrounds and stuff. To now they're just like these boring, plain old buildings that look like banks or whatever. And that's part of the, the fall of their directional attacks. This is on purpose for the fall of America. And it's to take away Americana and take down what was beautiful and what was unique, about these places, and turn them into just nothing. And, take away that, mom and pop shop. Look, and when you went to Cracker Barrel, you knew you were going to a chain or whatnot, but it had that feel, of that mom and pop, especially when you were in the city or something, right? Like you would get overwhelmed with how many places there are to eat at or whatnot, and you're like, okay, I'll go to a Cracker Barrel, and at least you got that small town feel in the big city. You were like, okay, here's the wooden, log cabin building with the fireplace going on inside, and you got the, American flag draped up with the, Americana. You got, baseball medals or memorabilia, and boats and plane parts, and, just all this cool knickknack stuff. And, now they're tearing that all down for modernity, I guess. But yeah, another thing I saw was the Indian truck driver that decapitated three Americans on the highway has got over 1 million Indians to sign a petition to free him or give him a lightened sentence. And isn't it amazing how they always seem to stick together? Right? Any demographic ever commits a crime. The Austin Metcalf thing we talked about, how, they all poured in funding and bought the dude and his family their dream home. And, an Indian decapitates Americans on the streets, and they all come in to fund him and get him released. Um, an illegal alien um, kills an American citizen. They all come into his defense. They're trying to deport some illegal, and they're all coming in to defend them and bring them back to America and give them lawyers and, all this stuff. They always seem to stick together, but there's only one people that can't ever stick to their own, or can't ever stick up for themselves or their country, their culture, their values. And, on that note, I think I'll leave it there for your Manic Monday rant, man. Till the next one, you know what it is. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us, so get right with God. Because only God can save you. Freedom fighters out.